Alright guys, we're going to do a scissor lift, and this picture you have to upload into your project, so you have to download it from the Google Classroom assignment. You'll have the link to this project. You'll have to make a copy for yourself. So anyway, so you go to the let's see, how far did we go down to this? We went down to the, how far down the menu did we go? Can't see the top. Alright, so you've got to bring in 2 of these boxes, and these structure member supports, you're going to need about 8 approximately. I'm going to show you a picture here. I'm going to toggle back to the picture. So try to keep your stuff organized so you don't have to move stuff around, because when you're panning left, right, up, and down, if all the stuff is too close together, it just makes it difficult on you. Alright, so these washers you're going to need to kind of offset the support members so that they don't overlap each other or collide into each other. So we're going to put these on there first, and you're going to put them on the inside. So you're going to fasten them on there. Make sure you get on there. Looks good. All right, so these are going to keep the separation of the supports so that they actually collapse onto each other. All right, so we're going to put the second one in there. All right, so if that happens, make sure you click on the arrow to rotate it around. Sometimes you totally miss the mark and you got to start over again. I think I'm going to try to fix this, but it's going to be a lost cause, I believe. Just back out, start over, and fasten. There we go. Alright, so there's going to be a few mistakes I'm going to make on this, but the thing is, we want to revisit this, build it, learn some stuff, come back a couple weeks later and improve upon the design. So that's kind of the whole gist of this class, is to design a project or product, pick up some skills, and then go back and revisit and improve upon that first build. So there's going to be some stuff that we're going to have to fix, but it does work. And so you can see what I'm doing is I'm putting some of those on, kind of pre-staging those members, because it is kind of hard to zoom in to the exact spot. So if you have those kind of pre-assembled, it kind of cuts back on your work. Less zooming and tilting and spanning and all that. If you have them already attached to the stuff, it actually helps out a lot. Alright, so I think I've already fixed that thing to its spot. If I have not, or I missed it somehow, you do have to anchor that frame to, or anchor it down, so you have to click on it, right click, and select the fix to make sure it doesn't move around. And I think I did that probably in the first couple of seconds that this video started. Alright, so there it goes. So right click, fix it, so that means it's anchored down. And so if it wasn't anchored down, you would not be able to pull those things up like that. All right, so we're on a good start on our scissor lift, and once you do the first 4, then the second level is pretty easy, and then you kind of got all the skills mastered, so then the top level is just pretty much easier once you've gone through all these steps here. So if you see that little center point hovering on the surface, that's where we're trying to get the slider to slide back and forth and stop at. So this side of the scissor lift I do kind of mess up on. I'm going to have to go back and fix it, but the other side I get correct, and as long as one side of the scissor lift is working, then the other is going to be synchronized to that, so you don't have to have 100% on left and right working. If as long as one side's working, then you're good. All right, so we're going to drag that up, and you can see it's moving back and forth. And what we're going to do is we're going to join those into the middle, and we're going to use a revolute mate. Negative 71.6 is the pin slot setting. In this case, it's not working correctly, and I have to go back and troubleshoot why that is, but I do get the other side working correct. All right, so anyway, we're going to use the revolute, and we're going to connect those two into a kind of X pattern. And occasionally in this video, I'm going to toggle back and forth to the image that I uploaded. And that image of the scissor lift will be in the Google Classroom. You just have to simply save that to your desktop and then upload it into your Onshape project. All right, so I got my X pattern, and as you can see, they're locked in. As long as you use Revolute, it will work. There's other settings we can use, and I think I'm going to do a version 2 of this, where we use some other types of pivot joints. All right, so as you can see, the washers are kind of sitting across from each other in the left and right, and that keeps the members from being on the same path, so it keeps them separated. And if this were an actual scissor lift, which we're going to build an actual one with popsicle sticks, you would probably want some kind of styrofoam or something like that to keep them separated. Alright, so I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to do another X pattern above that. So I'm doing a pin slot, and if you watch how I do this differently, it's going to be, this is going to work, and the other side doesn't work because I probably picked the wrong center line. And as you can see, it's sunk in there, so I just press your arrow, and let's see, oh, I think I completely messed up on that one. Yep, I had the wrong XYZ axis. All right, so pin slot. Looks like I'm going to have to probably flip it around to the other side. Kind of zoom in. There it is. Okay. You got that time. So the offset is going to be negative 71.6 on the x-axis, and that's going to the slider is going to go along the x-axis, and it's going to stop right there. You can see if I push it that way, it's going to stop. So that's going to keep it from going too high and breaking. Alright, so I'm going to use the revolute and make sure they're facing each other. There we go. Starting to come along here, guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this project. It's from here on out, we're going to be doing a lot of animation and learning how to synchronize your animation like we're doing here, where you got left and right synchronized, locked in, and definitely the what makes it all work is the fact that the top and bottom are attached to the square frames. The square frames. So, all right. So if you toggle back and forth on the picture, we're gonna look at. We got to add another level before we add on the top frame there. So you can get confused on this, and you're going to end up having too many on the wrong side, and they're going to be not able to line up on the top. So you got to make sure that you study this picture closely, and you try to get as close as possible. So yeah, we're going to put the axles in last, and you know, if this were a real project, you couldn't do that. You're going to have to put the axles in first. But the trick with Onshape is the fact that you don't actually have to have the axles in to make those XYZ planes line up. So, and the benefit of putting the axles in last is the fact that you can look at the offset and see which how to center those things so that it's not flush on one side and sticking out on the other. So, all right, so we're adding second level, and if you zoom in, I probably need to let's see if did I get that right. I don't know. It would help if I zoom in. Looks like I'm nope, didn't get it right. So see how it's not sticking to each side, and it's actually fused together. You don't want that. So let's see if what kind of tricks I'm going to go to get that. Let's see if that worked. I think that worked. Okay. There we go. Okay. So yeah, as you build level 1, level 2, you start to get that muscle memory, and it just starts to magically start coming together as a scissor lift. All right, so looking at the picture, we need to put, let's see, hold on. Gotta put that on the back side. No, it's gotta be on the front side. Let's see here a second. Oh, that's why. Yeah, that second one is incorrect. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So one of them is back to back, and the other one is actually was put on there incorrectly, and you can see it goes right kind of fused together, and looks like I'm completely missing the point here on this. Let's see, I forgot how I fixed this. All right. So if you have a bunch of red, you're messing up somewhere, so it's not going to work. So I have to either go in and find where I made that Revolute connection and edit, fix the offset, or just simply back arrow. Okay. All right, let's see here. I think when I did that back arrow, it put it right back where it was in the first place. All right, so let's go see if we can. Yeah, let's just go ahead and delete it then. Okay. All right, let's fix this thing. Revolute. Get that arrow. Bring it up. Much better. All right. So you got to join the center with your Revolute, and after you've attached the top, then you're going to put the axles in those holes. All right, so halfway done. And if you go all the way up, you can see that, excuse me, that the limit I put in there, the negative 71.6, actually keeps it from going too high. And of course, the other side doesn't work as well. We're going to have to go back and look at the settings and the design, and go through the engineering design process to figure out why both sides don't have the same settings. But since we're going to attach the top to this, then the left and right scissor assembly is going to be synchronized just by the fact that they're connected together. So if one side works, then the other side is going to work as well. All right, so we're just going to copy. Make sure that you click on that rotate axis if you have it lined up wrong. Otherwise, you got to go in and edit, and that's kind of a pain. So, all right, last attachment, and let's see, where's that? All right, so you got to click on the rotate axis. There we go, and bring that up. And closing that dialog box is going to help you. All right, so Revolute. All right, there you go. We're 95% done. All right, so we have to attach the top, and so we're lower one side down, and we're going to bring the top frame over, and you can see that it does not stop where it should, but it does stop on the other side. So as long as the top is attached, it's going to force both to go to the one setting that does work. All right, so we're going to rotate around. We're going to do this side first. So let's see. pin slot. All right, so the pin is going to follow that horizontal cutout, and we're going to make sure we line up pick the faces that face each other, and we're going to pick the very end. Not that one. Why did I pick that one? I think this is going to give me a bunch of red lines here. No red lines. It did work. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought I was supposed to be on the end there. Oh, okay. So since I picked the center plane on that cutout, it's not going to stop. But I did pick the bottom one. I set that incorrectly, and so it does provide a stop to it. All right, so we're going to hook up the top. You got to hook up all 4 connections. That's going to be a Revolute. Oh, no, that's going to be a that's going to be a Revolute. All right, that's going to be make sure the faces each other, and there you go. And then to do a product improvement, we actually have to go back and put the washers in there. If this were an actual robotic lift, that would be too much. Weak areas that, a washer in a strategic place is going to strengthen the axle and reduce the torque, because the washer actually takes some of the torque away from the actual lift. All right, so one side is working. Now we're going to attach the other side, and then we're going to put the axles in each of the joints, and so we're going to use the Revolute. So right-clicking, flip around. There we go. Not sure. I think this one is one I mess up on. So this is going to be a pin slot, and we're going to choose the center of that, and we should choose the center, and I think I choose the wrong one and everything turned red. I'm not supposed to choose that. We're supposed to choose the center, not the center of the end. We're supposed to choose the center of the actual slot cutout. I think I'm going to get a red. Yep, everything turns red. So if that happens, you did something wrong, and which is the reason it turned red is because the bottom side that works, it stops where it's supposed to stop. I lined the center of that pin up with the center of the entire slot cutout instead of the end, so it was actually conflicting with each other. I'm going to have to delete that. If you don't, it's just going to be a mess, and see, everything turns back the way it was, and then you're kind of like trying to regroup and figure out what went wrong. And so if you bring that down like that, it's going to allow you to get a free clear shot of the parts that have to be connected, fastened, and oh, there's another reason why, because I should have actually attached that. The pin slot should have been attached to the inside of that frame instead of the outside. but it is working. So don't fix it if it's not broke, you know. So it is working. But what I did on the other side, the back side of this one, the pin slot was it's supposed to be the center of the cutout and on the inside and not the outside. That was another issue. All right, so we're gonna start putting the pins in. We're just gonna use Revolute and start putting those things in. All right, we are gonna have to go back. You want to do an offset of I think it's 25 millimeters, I think, but I'm gonna have to go back and do each one. So if you want to get ahead of the tutorial, do an offset when you hook these up of 25 millimeters, and it'll actually save you about 2 or 3 minutes. Alright, so I got the axles in, and we have to bring in 1 or 2 more. So I have to actually go down to the scissor lift and bring in a couple more rods. And I'm going to bring in, these are meant to be the top and bottom of the lift, because the box there, the gray box, is meant to actually carry stuff. I think I have to put in a few more rods there, but maybe I'll do that afterwards. All right, so I'm going to flip this around and put it on the bottom, and that's just going to strengthen up the frame on the bottom. Let's see if I can get it right the first time here. Probably not, but all right, I missed the frame up there. All right, so trying to attach this to the bottom. And as you can see, it's all messed up, so you have to click on your arrows in your rotation to flip it around. There it goes. Alright, so you got that attached. Now I'm going to put this box on top of that. So find the bottom of your box and line that up with the corner. And the video kind of paused there for a minute. Alright, so everything's working, and I think we might have to put in a few more rods, especially on that top. So go down to your scissor lift menu and bring in a couple more rods. I think you need one on the top and bottom. I think I just brought in 3 of them. Alright, so we're going to use the Alright, so we're going to line this up with the center, so it's going to be a, not Revolute. Why did I just pick Revolute? No, it's not Revolute. No. I just picked Revolute. Why did I do that? Oh, I got to put the axle in first. What am I talking about? Okay. Yeah, I'm right. Alright, so you do want to do an offset of 25 millimeters, but you do actually have to close it out and go back into it in order to get the offset to work. So you want that offset. 0.25 is going to bring, or not 0.25, 25 millimeters is going to bring, it's going to center it left and right. So you're dealing with millimeters. It's not going to change much. 1 millimeter is not going to work. You have to put in enough to make it actually budge. All right, so go down to edit, and let's see, at what point in time do I think about 25 millimeters? There's 5. Alright, so it's giving me a hard time. So I can decide just to start over again. Edit. There we go. Okay. I got the right thing selected now. Alright, so if it turns red and you can't fix the red errors, then just delete that part, redo it. Alright, so that's a little bit too much, so we're going to go, not sure if it's 25 or 5, 10. 10 does work. 10's fine. Okay. Alright, so the rest of the rods do have to be fixed. And so I'm going to go through and just kind of hover over and see which one highlights and go in and edit and fix the offset. I think this is where I put in 25 millimeters. Maybe it was 10. I just kept it 10. No, I think 25 is going to be the answer there. Or 5 millimeters. I'm sorry, yeah, 5 millimeters. So go back and reset each one to 5 millimeters, and then you're done. This was a challenging, time-consuming project, but we're going to actually build this with popsicle sticks, and probably all the axles we have are too big for the popsicle sticks. We're probably just going to use thumbtacks as our um, axles. As long as we don't have a bunch of thumbtacks floating around the classroom, it should be not a problem. So, if this were a middle school classroom, I would probably be worried about high school. You guys can handle thumbtacks. All right. So, we're going to build a couple of these, and we're going to go through. As you can tell, it will. I didn't put any limit for it to go collapse into each other. You can actually take it all the way past the point of no return, and we're going to fix that, and we're going to go back and revisit this. First, we're going to build it, then we're going to go back and revisit it. But the improvements we got to make, we got to put some more washers in and make the connections more sturdy, and so there we'll revisit this next week. But have fun building this, and also we're going to be doing the Tinkercad electronics this week as well. So anyway, have fun with this, and I'll see you guys this coming week.